Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone. Once again, you are welcome to another edition of our Power BI Bootcamp training. Our instructor is here with us. Mr. Efesa is here with us, Efasa, and is going to continue from where he stopped the last time. This time around, he's going to be giving us a very creative report design. So I really want us to pay full attention and just learn as much as we can within the short time we have. So, Mr. Efasa, you can take over, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, I can hear
Can you hear
you.
me? Okay, that's great. Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to fix one or two network issues. So, the last session we had, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about where we get our design inspiration and a whole lot of things, how we get our design inspiration and probably how we create our background using PowerPoint and all that. That's what we did the last time. And so this time around, I already have more like a skeletal Power BI that I've not done anything on. So I'll soon, just give me a minute, a few seconds now, I'll start sharing my screen. So we are going to start working on it and create the design together. Just give me a few seconds. I'm looking for that project. Case study 2. Supply chain. Okay. So also, the last time also, I said I was going to share you the PowerPoint, which I've done. So I believe you all should have access to that already. So I'm trying to open up a Power BI report. So remember what we discussed the last time. I said something like, when it comes to design, report design, and everything we need to do about designing our reports, the UI, making sure that we're using the right chart, the right visuals to tell the story we want to tell, adding some element of some element that would help our user understand the report better. That is likely the last thing you want to do. Is the last thing you do. That means you're probably done with creating your report. Everything is done. You have a skeletal structure of how the report wants to look like. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, I'm sharing my screen already, so I want to share the report with you. So this is a report I'm currently working on, right? For this report, I've probably done everything I want to do. I've then arranged the report the way I want it to look like. But you and I know that the way this report is looking right now is not looking like a report in the real sense. Everything is still, yes, I have my charts and my visuals the way I want, where I really want them to be, but I don't think anybody understands what's really going on here now. For now, yes, you probably get a slight understanding, but everything is still looking, will I say now, is looking raw. Everything is still looking raw to me, is looking raw to you, if I believe so. So what I want us to do now is, I want us to do more like a makeover on top of this report, right? So let me make a duplicate of this just in case, because I have to go over this again. Okay. So I want us to do a makeover on this report, right? And if you notice something, I've not done this before. I hope everybody can hear me, please. This is going to be more like an interactive section. I don't want to be the only one doing it because we're going to put our ideas together. If you notice something, I've not done this before. This is not something I've created before now. then I'm coming to walk you through it and just create it for you. No, I've not done this design. I've not done this UI. I've not done anything about this UI. I've not done any single thing. So there's no layout already prepared. I just mocked everything up the way I want it. Now I need to put in a design on top of this to make it look nice. I've not done it before now. So the reason I do this for my sessions is because so when I make an error or when you see me trying to change some things, trying to figure something out, you will see it firsthand. So I don't want a situation where I create a video and everything just looks smooth and you watch it and everything looks smooth. Then when you try to create your video or when you try to create your report some other time, you find out that, oh, there's an error you encountered, there was something you were trying to do, you couldn't do it. And when you watch the video, everything seems fine. So now it's me, you, everyone in this call putting heads together to come up with this design we want to come up with now. Yes, I already have my KPI cards. I've already made up my mind that my KPI cards will be up here. And of course, I have a trade line that will be here. Then I have, of course, another KPI card here that shows me the year-on-year change and all that. I've also said this pane would be more like my filters pane, where I'll have some filters and everything that I want to interact with the report. So I've not made up my mind fully yet, but that's how it's supposed to be, right? So the next thing I then want to do now is first, since I have this report like this, I'll just open my browser like I told you, like I've always done. I'll probably just navigate to first I can just go to Pinterest, right? I'll just go to Pinterest and start looking for something to give me an idea of what I want to do. Somebody's mic is on, please.
It should be 1 hour, 30 minutes max.
You should mute yourself.
Service. Power service.
Okay.
Ọ̀la náà nìyà.
Sorry about that. So I'll come here and start looking for report designs that I want to use, right? Already I'm looking at this, right? I'm looking at this and this looks like something I would love to do. So I'm looking at this already. So one thing I do, remember, like I told you, this is exactly what I would do on a normal day. This is how I would work. This is how I would typically do everything I want to do. So we're working together here. I'll look at this design. I'll say, okay, maybe I would want to use this design. I don't know yet. So I'll probably just say Control C up here and I'll paste it here and just leave it here for now. That's one design I've seen. Then I'll probably come back again and start searching to see if there's any other one that catches my attention. Based off what I have, I'm not really concerned about how the design is arranged, how the visuals are arranged. No, I just want something suiting, a concept I can run with, right? I've seen this concept, I've seen the way it looks like here, and it's something I think I like, but I want to just be sure if it's something I want to run with, right? Now, I still can check. So while we're checking, one thing I want you to do for me is if you see anyone that looks good, just draw my attention to it because I want us to work together here. You can just tell me to stop. I'm looking at this. Now, I don't really like this, even though it has everything I want, but I really don't like it that much. So I'll keep looking. So I still can come up here and just see sales dashboard, right? Like we've done before. Then I start looking at all the sales dashboard. If there's anyone there. Okay, I look at this. How does this look like? So typically I'll look at this. Okay, this has a lot of information on it, but I don't really think I want to work with this, but there's a lot of information here. Okay, I should look at this also. So this looks okay, but I don't think I want that too, but let me look at this. Okay, this concept is not bad too, right? This concept is not really bad. So I'm looking at this concept and I'm like, okay, this concept is still okay, it's cool. It doesn't look like my report. Like I said, it doesn't look like the report I have there. It's just a concept I'm looking for, right? So I'll probably just copy this and come here, put it here, then come back here. I've seen this before. I've seen this on LinkedIn. Somebody did something like this using this concept. So I've seen it before. So since I saw this last week. Somebody used this concept also. So we don't really have all the time in the world, right? So I have two concepts already that I feel I can work with. I have two concepts here that I feel I can work with. So it's up to me to choose which one I really want to go with and which one is best for what I want to do. So for me, I think I'll just go with this. I want to keep it simple, so I'll go with this, right? This looks like something I have already, so I'll go with this. So I'll just expand this. This is how it looks. Okay, that's fine. Now I'll open my PowerPoint. Like I told you guys, I'll open my PowerPoint. I allow my PowerPoint to open, just a blank background. Remember, I sent you some samples already, so you can actually work off those samples. But say you don't want to use those samples or you're not working off those samples. So this is a fresh PowerPoint I opened now. I'll come back here to my browser here. I'll just come to my sniping tool. I'll simply just take a picture of this report, right? I'll take a picture of this report. I'll take a picture of it. Then once I have the picture, I'll then bring it to PowerPoint, just paste it here. So this is a picture of what we want to create. So, okay, so this is quite simple. I don't think it's really difficult, right? Okay, so making sure that I don't have anything selected, I'll simply just right click and say I want to format background. So I have the background pane here. So, okay, so one of the things I'll do next is just look at the design and see what I need to do, right? I'll look at the design. This is the design. What do I need to do? So this on the plain background, there's really nothing much there. So what I'll just do, I'll just come to my eyedrop here. That's eyedropper. I'll just select this. That's just a plain background. That's not what we're working with. So that is it. Remember, like I said, I'm not a designer. This is just to make the report look more presentable. So there are some stuffs you'll be looking for from a typical UI UX designer that I will not give you, but I'll give you something that would make your report look great. Okay, so now that I have this, the next thing I then look at is up here, you can simply just have a title, right? You can have a title and every other thing you want up here. That's one thing, right? Then of course your KPI cards. When I look at my reports, I see that I have my KPI cards here and everything I want. So which means I can come here now and simply say, I want to bring in, that's the menu pane. This menu you have here, I want to just bring it here, right? It's up to you to size this the way you want it. I'll just, okay. So let's say this is my menu pane now. I'll just reduce the size a bit. So what I'm using, I'm going to be sure I'm using 19 against 3.5. That's 19 against 3.5. Then I can come pick the color I have here also, eyedropper, and I'll simply just select the color I have here. So this gives it the color I have here. Then one thing I'll make sure is expand this line and say no line. So I typically don't have any line yet. That's one. I'll make sure this covers where I want it to layer on. See the red line, right? Next, I see this white pane down up here. So there are two things I need to do here. One of the things I need to do even before this very one is I need to bring in a rectangle again and just draw this over, right? I'll just draw this over. Don't worry, I'll send it back shortly. I'll just draw this over. Okay. Let's draw this over, then I'll right click and just send it back, right? Then I'll select it and simply just come to fill color eyedropper. So what I'm looking to select is this color you have here, this color you have in this very space. You see? So I'll just select that color. I'll come to line and say no line. So this is what I have, right? So you see the new rectangle is layered on top of the main PowerPoint background, right? So I have to resize this to fit in. I'll size the menu to fit in. Size it properly. Okay, so this is what I have now. It looks like it's looking like what I want, right? So we're still going to make some adjustments eventually, right? But one thing I want to try out, like I said, you try out a lot of things while you're working. So I'll just select this and come to shape format, effects. I'll come to preset and just look at some things I have here to see if I'm tempted to use any one. Okay, not now, not really. So just try out a bunch of, just look at a bunch of things. I'll just inspect some things. So if I select this very one I am on right now, or I select this, right? Yes, you have this shadow here, but I really don't need it though. So I'll just come to this effects here. I'll say shadow, transparency. I can increase it to 0. So I really don't have it. The next thing I want to do is bring in another rectangle. Just draw the rectangle over here. So this is going to look at this menu you have here, right? So what I need to do is, I think this color is now white. So if you select, it's actually white. I'll come to line and say no line. So you have this white color up here already, right? So yes, there are times you'd want to give it you put your picture and add your name. So let's say we want to do that. I'll just bring in the circle that I want my picture to layer on, right? Now, immediately see the circle is actually balanced within the rectangle we have up there. So I'll just place it somewhere here. Okay. So for this circle, I'll select the circle. I'll just say picture or text field, right? Once I say picture or text field, I'll come to insert. Then I'll browse for where I have my picture. I'll just click from file. I have my picture somewhere in my system. I'll just navigate to where I have it as images, where I think, where's my picture? Yeah, so this is my picture. I'll select this, my picture, and just click on insert. Then I have my picture here. So I can select my picture, comes to fill, I'll say line, no line. So that's my picture, right? Next, I'd want to look at the KPI cards, right? The KPI cards. So I'll look at my report. How many KPI cards do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 KPI cards, right? Now, the KPI cards, the designer actually wants, right? It's something here. The thread line will be here. Then I think I want this to be somewhere here. I think that's the design I'm opting for, right? That's what I want actually. I think this is what I want. Yes, something around, this is what I want. This is how I want the KPI cards to look like, right? So I'll come back to PowerPoint now. I need the KPI cards, right? But at the same time, I'm thinking, is it possible for me to bring this down here and bring this line in front? I've seen some reports like that. How nice is it going to look? I really don't know. What do you guys think, please? Can anybody offer me any suggestion? Which do you think is best? Nobody's saying anything.
I think it's better the trend line is
I
below
think
the
below.
values.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let's work with that actually. That's what I actually wanted to do from the very beginning. Okay, so since the trend line is going to be down there, that's fine. So let's come back here. While we're here, the next thing we need to bring is this KPI cards. So I can then bring in another shape and just draw one shape here. My KPI cards are actually 6, so that's fine. Now, one thing is I saw the way these KPI cards are actually looking, and I love the way they look. But there are two things here, or two things we can actually achieve. Either we do everything in PowerPoint, right? These are just more like, I don't know, maybe lines, right? Ideally, you can achieve this in Power BI also. If you're using the new KPI cards, right? If you're using the new KPI cards like this, you can come to visualizations. That's the old KPI card I'm using actually. So if I'm using the new KPI cards, I think there's a place where I can come here and say, where is it? Cards. Then I can put on the ascent bar, right? So the ascent bar will be there, right? Like this. Then for the cards, let me make it clean so you see it. I can put off the background, put off the border, and just leave the ascent bar like this. Then I need to reduce the ascent. This is the ascent bar. I can decide where the ascent bar should be. I can decide the color also. So if I say this color is blue, right, and I can increase the width, right, then I can come up to my colored value. I'll change this to total orders, right? I can say this should be 25, right? So I'll have something like this. So basically what I'm trying to say is you can achieve this ascent bar, this bar, just the way you have it here. But I don't want to do it in Power BI in a reason. So I want to do it here. So I'll select this. Now, the white space is very important. Look at what this person has done. There's a distance space between this menu bar and before the KPI card starts, right? So I'll make sure I give mine similar space, right? Now, there's also a space up here, which is also very good, making everything distinct, right? But what I want to do is I want to make sure the space I have here is also the same space I have here. So I'll just take it up a bit, right? So I'll reduce this. That's fine. Now, I don't really know the size of the card I want to use yet, but one thing I often do is I just make a copy of the card. Honestly, this is what I do. I'll just make a copy. I'll make a copy like 6, since I know I have 6 KPI cards. This is 4, 5, this is 6. Oh, I know my KPI cards are actually supposed to be within this, what is it called? This size and cover this space. But now you can see that one is actually shooting out. And I need to make sure the space I have at the beginning is actually the same space I have at the end. So which means these KPI cards, I probably need to reduce their size a bit, right? So one thing I'll do, I normally use 1. So once I figure out 1, I know the rest will take shape. So I'll just select this and probably work with 2.5. And the width, I'll reduce the width to 4.0. That's 4. I'll just say 4. Or I increase it to 4.5. Let me see. 4.5 will be too much. I think I'm already close to 4.5. Let me say 4.2. So I'll just delete every other thing I have here for now. That's fine. So once I have this, right, I know its color is actually white. So, but just to be sure, so you know the color is white. So the color is white. And I will say no line. So I have something like this, but I'm yet to get that feel. I can actually see here. There's this, I don't know what to call it. There's this kind of feel. So there are 2 ways. Typically I'll do 2 things, right? Even for this also, I'll select this typically and come to solid line. Then in place of the line color, I'll give it this white background, 5% dark, right? So you have something like this. There's a feel it gives to it. I just hope you guys can see it also. So I'll select this also and just say shape format. I can come to home, format painter, and just drop it here. So you have something like this. Now I can try something else. I can try something else out. I'll make a copy of this, right? Then I'll say no line. Then I'll come to shape format. I'll say effects, preset. I just want to try to see which one gives me what I really want or what I'm looking for. So, okay, so I can actually use any one of them. I think I like this too, but let me just try another effect. So this effect, I really don't have them off yet. I just tried them, bunch of them. I can bring it here so I see it clearly. I know I don't want that, so I don't want this either. I don't want any of this. But we're currently using this, which it's kind of cool to me. Well, let me come to shadows. See, I don't really want, I don't think I want that either. So I think I'm okay with this. I'll just bring it here. Then I still can go back and say solid line and change this to 1% dark and probably reduce the width to 0.5. So I still can go back. I want to reduce that width to 0.25. So I have something like this. So I probably will just delete. I can work with anyone actually. So I'll work with this, which is fine by me. I'll place this where I want it to be. Then we need how many copies of this? 6, because we actually have 6. So Control C, Control V, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I still have space to actually increase the size of the card. So let me select all the card and just increase it by 3, by 4. I think I'll stop at 4 for now. If I make it 5, what happens? Let me make it 5. Then I can actually take this to the edge a bit. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, so now you see that the space I have, the white space I have from the beginning of the card and to the other end of the card, they're actually same now. You can see it. You can look at it again, you can see it. So once I have that, I'll select all the cards again and just come to align. I'll say distribute horizontally. So I have what I have up there. I just want, this is what I want. One thing I can do again, since I said 1% darker, I'll just increase for the line, solid line now, I can just increase, I'll reduce this to 0.5, then I'll probably just increase the transparency a bit to 30. So I have something like this. So the next thing I want to do is these colors I have here, right? So now if you look, these colors, they look funny, but this person is actually trying to tell us a story here, right? This is customers, this is revenue, this is profit, this is invoices, right? That's what he's trying to do. He's not just using random colors. So what I want to do now is, we're still not going to use random colors also. So I'll probably just come here and bring in these rounded rectangle corners, something like this. I'll have it, I'll reduce the edge to look like a pew shape. Reduce this also, and reduce this. If this is too big, I don't think it's too big, I'll reduce the width. So I have something like this. This is 0. Let me see if I can get 0.5. No, 0.5 will be much. 0.05. I don't think anything like this exists. So 0.1 is fine. So this is 0.1. I'll reduce the height a bit to 1. So I have this already. Okay, so for this, the next thing I'll do now is I'll simply just come to fill eyedropper and I'll try to pick this color I have here. See the color. I'll try to pick that color I have there. I'll select, then I'll say no line also. And I'll just bring this here. I'll place it here, right? Okay. Next thing I'll do now is to make a copy. But then from before I start making a copy, I'll come to my Power BI and look at how my KPI cards are arranged. So this is orders, this is sales, this is quantity. Then I have profit, I have loss and returns. So I have orders, sales, quantity, profit. So what I want to do next is come here. When I make a copy of this, Control C, Control V, I'll bring it here. I also have to try to make sure that it's positioned exactly where this one actually is. So there's one funny thing I do. So let me just expose myself before you see it. Most times, what I do is I place it at the beginning. It's funny. I place it at the beginning. I'll just count the number. So if I place it at the beginning, typically here, I'll count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's a local way of doing it. So please don't do that. I'll place it at the beginning again. All right. Then I'll just take it to the front 15. So this is what I want, but I still don't want the same color. I don't want the same color, right? So I have to make sure, hope this is the same size as what we have. One, this is actually 1. This is supposed to be 1. Why is it looking like this one is smaller? Let me make a copy of this again. Okay. I think they're actually same size. Okay, I'll make another copy. So I'll drop, you can see, I'm trying to make sure the alignment is actually correct. So I'll wait for when everything is ready. So you see the alignment is actually aligned to the other end also. So please, okay, I'll make another copy, make sure it's aligned with what we have at the beginning already. See, it's aligned in every way. Oh, no. It's not aligned anymore. So, okay, I'll make sure I figure the alignment out. Okay, make another copy. Okay, make another copy, which is the last copy. Okay, that's not what I want actually. Okay, so now I have to make sure that the colors, right? This is not them. This is not 1, please. This is supposed to be 1. So I have to make sure that the colors, right? The colors actually mean something. These bars we have here, I have to make sure the colors mean something also. So when I check my KPI card, I know that profit is actually 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. Profit is 4. So for this green color we have here that for revenue, I'll actually make it profit. I'll make sure profit is that color. So I'll select, I drop, I'll take this green color to be profit. I'll make sure I'm really using that green color. I'll make sure I'm using that green color. So let me be sure. One thing I can easily do, I don't know why I didn't do it, is to expand this image actually. So when I select this, I can come back, I drop and select this green color. Okay. Next, I also want this blue color for the quantity. So I'll select this, I drop. So you have to be careful here because you have different shades of that color there also. So now for this is actually loss on my Power BI. So I'll probably just use red for that. But this red, I don't like this red. So I'll just select it and come to more colors, custom, and probably pick a lighter red, please. Something around here. Okay. Then for the last one also, I think I'll use the same red because that's actually returns. Or maybe I'll use red, but I'll use a more, I'll see go for something light a bit. Then I'll click on OK. So I can reduce this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is the layout I have here. I know that my sliders, everything are going to be here. That's fine. Then the one thing we should look out for next is these icons we have here. So I'll quickly just do that now. I'll select, just bring this box here. Let me check. Okay, this is going to be 7. This is going to be 7. So that's 7 against 7. Then I'll make sure the fill color, I'll just select 1% dark. I'll say no line. Right? So typically this is what I would have. I'll make a copy of this now. So when I place it, it should be well aligned. Same thing. I hope that thing shifts. Control C, Control V again. I think one major challenge is always getting this alignment right. Okay. Then for the last one, okay. So once I've done this, like I said the last time, the icons, I typically would just get them from flaticons.com. So I'll navigate to my browser straight to flaticons.com. Flaticons.com. So like I said, you mustn't use everything you have on the, what is it called? What you're trying to look out for. So I'll just pick my icons to just be black, fill, and I want all to be black. So once I open flaticons.com, why is it not opening? It's taking so much time. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Let's give it a little time. The talk is a bit slow. Come on. What's going on today? Okay, so now that we are actually in flat icons, so the first icon we're actually looking at is others, right? So I'll just say others. I'll search for others. Network is a bit slow. While I'm searching for others, I'll also search for, I think I have others, I have what? I have sales, I have quantity. So I'll probably just search for sales on this other tab. I don't know what's happening to my network. It's not supposed to be this slow. So of course I'll have different icons for others. Damn. So this is where I said, if you're going to use a fill, make sure you continue using a fill icon. But if you're not going to use a fill icon, make sure you also continue if you don't want to use a fill icon. So for me, I'll just look for an icon that looks like what I want in terms of orders. So I can actually go with this or this or this, whichever one. I'll just download actually. PNG free download. Come here for my sales. Since I'm using a fill already, I'll make sure I continue with a fill, right? So for sales, which one do I want to use? Which one do I want to use in terms of sales? I can actually choose to use this for sales also. PNG. Okay, then for quantity, I'll just say quantity. Remember, I'm using a fill icon, so I'll just use this for quantity and say PNG also. What do I have there? Gain, I have profit. So I'll search for profits. My battery is low. Please just give me a second. Let me plug my laptop. Okay, so for profit, since we're using a fill also, so I'll probably just go with this for profit also. Then I'll download this. Then I'll pick another icon for loss. Come on, come on. Then I'll look for another icon for returns. Okay, these ones are C-section. Don't know why. So I'll just come to PowerPoint, right? And insert pictures, this device, downloads. I'll insert everything I've copied so far. Insert. So this is it. This is my sales. This is my orders actually. Just reduce the size. What's the size I'm going to be using? 0.5. 0.5 all through. I'll place this. Then, so picture 0.5. Okay. Something here. Zero 0.5. Zero 0.5. So we need two more icons. Let me check if it's ready now. Okay, so for returns, I'm going to be using this. Then for loss, let me see. I'm going to be using this for loss. So let me just come to insert pictures, this device, loss and returns. Okay, so this is 0.5. That's what we're using. So this is going to be for returns. And finally, for loss, this is going to be 0.5 also. Okay, so once I have everything in check, my icons in check, okay. Once my icons are placed, so the next thing I need is just the last thing we're doing is just this layout we have here. I want my, what is it called? My visuals, right? Now, what I've also done is you can see this part of my visuals is looking at ship mode, right? So you can see ship mode, then you can see ship mode. So what am I doing? Remember that thing we talked about visual grouping. So these two visuals, I'm placing them together, right? I'm placing them together. Then of course, this is on its own, this is on its own also. So basically, we're done with this in the recent. So what I need to bring is just bring in a rectangle. And the first rectangle I have is actually looking at everything I have on this other end. So I'll just make sure it takes this space I have here. Right, so I'll select one of them and just say home, format painter, and drop it here. So I have that covered. So next, I can just right click and make a duplicate of this. Then I want to delete this for now. Then I can make a copy of this again and bring it to the end, right? So you can see what I'm trying to achieve here, right? Now I cannot have those two visuals at the middle. So I'll just make a copy of this. Okay, then I can have my breakpoint for the first one. Then for the second one, I have to make some small adjustments here. Okay. I don't think I have it yet. Okay. So with this, the layout I have in my Power BI, the concept I have in my Power BI right here, I can actually execute everything, place everything on this layout I created already. I think I can achieve that. So one thing I also do, right, since this is looking at what? This is looking at more like a retail sales company or whatever. I can just come online and say, I'm looking for retail store logo. This is just out of the, it's not really necessary, but I can pick one of these. I'll just look for one of those funny icons and funny logos and probably just pick one of them, the one I think it's okay. This looks good, but I really don't understand what's going on. I don't understand that logo. So I still can't find what I want. So this is not part of it. I'm just trying to add this to spice things up. Since we're looking at delivery, I'll just say delivery, shipment delivery. Logo. Okay. So I can pick this, for example. Oh, this is watermarked. I can't use it. Let me see if there's any other options. They are all watermarked. Let me see this. Watermarked also. These guys they are serious, so they mean business. I can actually pick this logo, right? I'll just take a snapshot of the logo. So if I pick this logo, ideally, if I copy and bring it to PowerPoint and paste, it's not going to look nice here. So what I'll do, I'll delete it, but I'll save it. I'll save it somewhere in my desktop. I'll try to save it somewhere in my desktop. I'll just say logo. Then I'll navigate to my desktop and click on save. The next thing I'll then do is come to my browser and come to remove BG. Remove BG. Remove BG is just to remove the background you have on an image. So I'll say upload. I'll look for that desktop. I'll look for the logo. This is the logo. Click on open. It should remove the white background I have on the logo. So that white background will go out. Come on, come on. It's taking so long. My network. So this would remove the white background, right? Once it's out, I'll come to download and download the preview. Then I can come to PowerPoint now and come to insert pictures, this device. I'll go to my downloads. Then I have it logo removed. Then I can bring it and place it here. I'll just reduce the size and place it somewhere here. Okay. Okay, so once I'm done with this, the next thing we just need to do is take this to Power BI. So I'll just take a screenshot of this again. I'll take a screenshot, just say new, and I'll just take a screenshot of this. Okay, I'll save this to my desktop also. I'll just navigate to where I have my desktop and just save it background. So once I've done that, I can now come to Power BI. This whole thing that is looking this funny and a bit messy, I'll just come to format, make sure nothing is selected. Format, I'll see Canva background, I'll browse, I'll go to my desktop again. I'll go to my desktop, then I'll look for the image. That's the background, open, then say from normal to fit, right? But I don't see anything, so I'll reduce the transparency to 0. So everything is here now, which is fine. So the next thing I then need to do is just to make sure I format, clean everything up to make sure it fits in here. So quickly, I'm going to select these KPI cards, right? This is total orders. Then I'll come to cards. I'll put off everything. I really don't need anything here. Put off everything. Call out value. I'll reduce the size. 25 is okay by me. Then one thing I also want to do next is to come to general effects. I'll put off the background also. So I have something like this, right? Then I have my trade line down here. I can actually increase the size. Then of course the change, I'll do the same thing. Effects, color value, general effects. I'll put all the background, make sure I don't have any background. The color value for this, I'll reduce the size to like 10 or 12 is okay. I'll just drop this here. Right now, where I'm a bit, where do I need to make a change? I want to make, so for this thread line I have here, right? I then have to choose a color. So I can come to format. I can come to format now. Now, I probably will want to use this color I have here also. So I have not made up my mind on which color I want to use, but while we're here, I think we can decide the color we want to use. So say I want to use this color I have here also. So I'll select the thread line, for example, format, lines. For that line, it's a solid line already. I'll reduce the width, right? I'll reduce the width to 2. Then I can choose if it's going to be a linear or smooth line, right? Either linear or smooth line. I think the smooth line is okay for me. I'll use the smooth line. Then I need to grab this color code that's here. So I'll quickly come to my PowerPoint very fast, select this, what is it called? I'll select these, come to formats, more colors. I'll copy this color code. Come to Power BI, select the line chart again, come to formats, lines, then change the color to that very color. Yeah, so I have something like this. So basically, by doing that, I need to repeat everything I've done here now for all the cards I have, right? I need to do everything, same thing for all the cards I have in terms of total quantity, total orders. So this is total quantity. I need to change it to the new KPI card. I need to come to call out value, reduce the size to 25, right? I need to put off, need to navigate to cards, put off the background, put off the border, right? Then I need to come to color value again and change this to total quantity and come to display unit and say none. Then I need to go select my measure and put a comma. So the quantity, I can actually see a comma instead of just having the numbers bundle up. Then of course I need to reduce the size before placing it here. So then I need to make sure it's well aligned with what I have here already. Same size, general properties 82,129. So this should be 82,129 also. So 82,129. Okay. So I come to general again, effects, I put all the background. So I can then align this. Okay. Next, this is actually size 12, if you remember. So I need to come to format, color value, reduce the size to 12. Then For the line also, we do the same thing, right? Increase. For this line, I probably need to go grab same. So for this also, I need to be careful. Make sure it's the same size what I have as the previous one. So I'll say 4590. 4590. I'll select this. I'll just type 45, then I'll type 90. I'll bring it here. So that way, I can ensure it's on the same way with the other one. Then for this line also, I'll do the same thing, what I have here. So I can select this one and just say Format Painter and drop it here. But the color needs to change. I need to use the same color I have here, right? I don't think we're using the same color, so I need to be sure. So I'll come to my PowerPoint. I'll just cancel this, select this, come to more colors. I think it's the same color actually. Copy the color code. So it's the same color. I needed to be sure. So I'll select the line again, come to Format, Lines, Color. I can select the color. So basically, this is what I'm going to do all through, right? So I don't need to keep repeating myself over and over again, but this is what I'm going to do all through for all the KPI cards I have here. It would have been nice if we'd had all the time in the world to go through all that. Right? So this visual already, we made space for it already that is going to be here. So all we need to do is to make sure it's well formatted, right? Because I don't have labels right here. So what I need to do is come to format now. On my y-axis, I'll put off the title. Remember, the font style I'm using is DIN, so I'll change the font size to DIN, increase the font size, make sure it's visible, that's 14. Increase this, change it to black, right, if I want to use black. Then I'll come to my x-axis, put off the values, put off the title. Then I'll navigate to my data label and put it on, right? I can come to my bars, then I can come to layout and increase the spacing between the values a bit. So I have something like this. Maybe I'll make this 35, right? Then next you come to the data label. It's very important your labels are visible. I'll change this to DIN, increase the size to probably 14 also, so you see them clearly. Then I can change the color to probably black, so you see it clearly. So using this, right, I can just click on this, say Format Painter, and drop it here. So I have the same concept, Format Painter, I drop it here, I have the same concept also. This, I need to fit this in, something is selected. So I need to fit this in right here also. What do I have selected? Okay. Okay, so I need to make sure this is right here also. And this is just occupying all the space I have here. Right, this is occupying the space I have on the other end. So one thing I'll do now is I'll just delete this KPI card so it doesn't make everything look rough. I'll delete them for now. So we have something like this. Next, we then have to decide, right? For these ones, excuse me. For these ones, actually, you can do two things, right? So me, I like to keep the things simple also. For these bars also, I come to format data label. I would say the position should be outside end. I would say the same thing for this outside end, right? Then for the bars also, I probably would still increase the layout for these ones. Make it 50. I would make the layout for this 50 also. Let me just save this. I'll make the layout 50 also. Then for this, I don't know why I keep selecting this. For this, I need to just format. First, I'll come to general, I'll come to y-axis, I'll put off the title, put off the values. Then for the x-axis, I'll put off the title. I'll change the font style, increase the font size to 14. right? Then come to the legend, put up the title, come back to the x-axis, change this color to black. Then I can come to my data labels and put it on expand, scroll down to the values, change the font style to DIN, increase the font size to 14, change the color to black. Now we can decide to do one thing here. So we have these two visuals grouped together already, which is fine. We still can decide to just put a demarcator, a line. So I can just come to insert shapes. I'll just bring a line. So this is the line. I'll just drop it here. Increase. Yeah, even though the visuals are grouped together, we'll just have a small line that separates the two of them. But for this line, I'm going to format it, come to style, put off the fill, come to border, just change the color to 1% gray. So you have something like this. Now for this donut chart, I'll come to format now, slices. I'll come to spacing, inner radius, I'll increase it. So I have, maybe I'll increase this to 80. So I have something like this. Then we can now come to detailed labels. So since I have I have the legend here, right? So I can make this the value and the percent, which is okay. So I just come to values, DIN, change this to black, increase the font size to 14. Now for my slicers, right? These slicers are not looking nice here. Typically what I do, I'll just come to format now, general effects, I'll put off the background. So I have something like this, it's dark, that's fine. I'll come to visuals, I'll come to values, I'll change this now to DIN, font color, I'll leave it for now. I'll come to background, change this background color to white. So I have something like this. So you can just click on your drop down and you select a particular layer. Then when I select my slicer, I'm going to come to format, slicer header, change the font style to white. Typically, I would just say select here. Now, there are two things here. All these are actually slicers in a way, but there are some that this is actually a KPI slicer. You have to select a particular KPI for this very one, right? So what I'll do is I'll bring all these slicers down here. I'll come, this is select here, sorry. Let me just slicer header. This is select here. I'll bring this down here. I'll just say format and let me see what happens. Format painter. This is not drop down, so it won't work. So I'll come back here and change the slicer setting to drop down because I really don't see any need to have all these slicers like that. So I'll bring this here. I'll do the same thing for this. This should be a drop down. Then format painter, and drop it on this one also. So you can have it here. So one thing I'll do now is I'll bring these slicers down here. I'll bring them down here. I'll bring them down here. I want to create a section, more like a section. Then I'll just bring this line, make a copy of this line. I'll bring it here. Right, I'll place it here. So what I can then do is just come to I'll still bring it down a bit. Take this up a bit. Yeah, this is my KPI. So I also need to do the same thing. Sorry, slicer setting. This is drop down. Then format painter and drop it here. So typically what I'll do is just bring this here. So what I'll do next is select everything, right? Make sure they are the same size. I'll just say 75 or 70, right? Then 160. They're all the same size, right? Then I'll select all again and come to format, then align, then say distribute vertically. So I get the same spacing all through. Then I'll just bring this line here. Next thing I'll do is come to text, just insert the text and just type on my text filters. right? Or slicers, whichever one. I'll say filters, Control A, change this to DIN, increase the font size to like 16, change the color to white, then reduce the size, come to effects, put off the background, and just bring this here. Now, the reason I'm doing this section is because I'll have my page navigator up here. So for the colors here, right, you still can just come to your bars, choose the color option we already have. Oops, oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. So select KPI. I need to make sure a particular KPI is selected, actually. So for this, I'll come to slicer settings, selection, I'll say single select. Always make sure that one KPI is always selected. Then for this data label, display unit, I'll say outside end. So I have all the labels outside the end. Now, for this donut, let me quickly come to the donuts. I'll come back to this report we have here. I see that we have a donut here, right? We have a donut here like this. So I can actually reference, I can actually use this donut color to see what I can do there. So quickly, I'll just bring in one slicer. I know the first one is actually black. So I'm not going to, definitely, I'm not going to make it as dark as that. I think it's referencing this color we have here. So let's see if we can use that color. So I'll select this, come to formats, more colors. I'll just copy this color code. Then I can navigate back to Power BI slicers. So this is looking at standard class. I'll just select this color. Then I'll select another class, second class. Probably select this color. Then first class. I can come back to PowerPoint and see this color I have here, this purple color. So let me see. I'll put my eyedropper there. I think it's the same color with the other one though. Okay, it's different. So I'll copy this, navigate back to Power BI, first class, paste this color. So it's too similar to what I had there already. So I'll definitely use another color. Probably we use this. Then same day, I'll probably just use this light ash color. So it's up to me. Now, this also, most of the report I've seen, sometimes your reports, you still can use the same bar color you already have, right? You still can use the same bar color you already have. Why for this, what I'll do is, I'll just come to columns, layout, space between, and reduce it a bit. I know one is delayed, one is on time. So what I'll simply just do is, for the columns, I'll say for delayed, probably, I don't want anything red in my report in the recents, but I'll select this, but I'll go back to more colors and take a lighter one that is not so red. Then for the on time, I'll maintain the same purple color. So typically, this is how my report is going to look like. Now, I want you to look at something. Let me just save this. So there's a big difference between having this report I want to open now. Just a second. Taking so much time. So there's a big difference between what we had previously, which was this, right? This was what we had previously. This was how it was looking like, right? There's a big difference between having this and having this, right? So there are typically some adjustments we still need to make here, but you can actually see for yourself already that there's a big difference between having this on your screen and having this. So it's more like we just gave it a makeover. So I want to believe this was helpful. Like you can actually apply this to your report. Remember, you have to figure out your layout first before you even think about coming to creating the report design. So with that, we have actually come to the end of the session, right? I want to, if there's any questions, you can actually go ahead and ask questions. If there's any other thing, go ahead and ask. So.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a question actually. I want to ask, what is the best practice? Now, what you did for us today was, of course, is like the metrics and charts has been created already. So what you just did was to go to PowerPoint and then design the whole wireframe and make it look better and fit it into the chart. So I'm asking, what's the best practice? Is it that we are supposed to? Which one comes first? Maybe that's the question.
Okay, so like I've always emphasized on, right? I've always wondered how some persons create a wireframe, then go ahead and create a report. So the process is you must have created your report, which is this. You must have a skeletal structure like this. So imagine that I don't have anything here, right? So I've not done anything. I have a plain report like this. Then I go to PowerPoint and create a wireframe. Like I'm trying to figure out what's the basics for you creating a wireframe when you don't have your KPIs. You don't even have a vision of how you want the report to look like. You don't have a vision of how you want the story to look like yet. So until you have a vision like this, that this is how I want the report and the story to look like, then you can go ahead and start to apply your makeover to make the report look like this. So typically that's the process I would follow. And that I think that's the process everybody follows. That's the standard process actually. You first need to have a skeletal structure of your report, then you go ahead to bring your wireframe. But one thing I've also seen people do is I think they go to Pinterest, for example, right? Pinterest or any of these sites. Is this it? No, I don't think this is it. You probably go to Pinterest, right? And they see this report. Oh, sorry. They see this report, for example, right? They see this report. Now, what they do next is they go and create a data that looks exactly like this, that would give them this report, and create the report to suit this data, to suit this design. But I typically don't do that. I must have created my wireframe, a sample of my report, then I come to look for a design. Now, if you look at the design we just copied, right? This report here is quite different from our own report in the recent. This report is different from our own report. You are seeing a trend line here, you are seeing a table here, you are seeing a donut chart, of course, but we've been able to take this design and place it in our reports. Yes, it's looking quite different, but you can see some element of this design in our own report. That's just the trick to it. Yes.
Okay, another question. Now, in this one we downloaded, I look at the the pie chart. If you look at,
so
sometimes I wonder how they achieve that.
So this donut chart is quite different from the one we have in Power BI. I can't remember this donut chart, but there's a donut chart that looks like this also. But this is not a regular donut chart in Power BI.
Okay.
There's a donut chart that looks like that also. I've forgotten the name. I think I'm not signed in. If I'm signed in, I can't remember the name. Yeah, so you should go to the App Store. You see a lot of custom visuals also.
Okay.
But we still can make ours close to this a bit, right? But the only thing we need to add out so for example, you see this label 40%, 27. Not like we can't have that here, but it's not going to look nice. So if I come to format and say labels and say percent of total only, right? Then I would say it should be inside, then look at how it's looking, right?
Mm.
It's not looking, that's the direction we're heading towards, which I don't like. But we have some custom donut chart also that give you that feel.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other question? Okay, Olubumi.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you, Mr. Efasa. Thank you for the class. I want to ask if we are using this like working in an organization, is it okay to just go and build something for them like this, like build all the wireframe and everything like this? And also, does it have effect on the Power BI performance, like the refresh time and all? Thank you.
Okay, great. So, so one of the things you've actually achieved by bringing your background from, what is it called, from PowerPoint and just bringing it here, you've actually reduced, you've actually improved the performance, like the load time of the report, because everything about the background of the report is just going to be one element and it's just going to take few seconds to refresh. Unlike when, imagine when we're trying to create this background we have here now in Power BI, we have to draw this shape. This is going to be another shape. This is going to be another shape. So all this will contribute to how long a report is typically going to take to load, right? To refresh also. But the major things that would delay your refresh, it's your model, right? Your model is going to be one of the major things that will delay your refresh, how your data is modeled. Then, of course, the DAX measures you wrote and how you wrote the DAX measures, how efficient the DAX measures are going to be, right? If are these simple DAX measures that will just typically take few seconds and they are up and running, or they are complex DAX measures, right? Also, for most of the visuals, they are not, these are typically built-in Power BI visuals. We're not using any custom visuals, so they won't really take much time to load. They won't take much of the time. For this report, it won't take any time, a few seconds. Given the data load also, it won't take time to load. And remember also the volume of your data also has a lot of has something to do with it also, right? Your data, the volume, and how it's also modeled. Now, for my organizations, right, for your reports, if you happen to be working in an organization, most times before you go ahead to create reports like this, you must have had a meeting with the stakeholders, the people involved, the people that want to use the reports. You don't just go and create a report. You're not the one that wants to use the report in the sense. So you have a meeting with them. You have a discussion around, oh, this is the report we want. We want a Power BI report. We want to be able to see the total sales. We want to see the trends and all that. Now, I can assure you one thing. I've been working in my organization for over a year. I've never created any report like this. So typically the reports we create, yes, we have some KPI cards, but we use a lot of tables to represent a lot of information. They consume tables a lot. The reason they consume tables, remember organizations are different. The reason they consume tables a lot is because once they open the report in Power BI service, they just want a situation where they can just click here and just see export data and they export the table. They can go ahead and perform some other analysis they want to do on it. So it's faster for everybody. But the report has already been created in Power BI, right? So those are the components that will add to how long your reports will take to refresh. But remember, by this single act of you bringing your background from PowerPoint and just bringing it here, is seeing it as one element. It's one of the processes you can actually take to improve your report performance.
Right, thank you very much. Any other
Okay.
person? Okay. We've come to the end of today's class. I'm so sure that we've learned a lot. Mr. Efasa, thank you so much. You can check more about some of his work on his YouTube page. He has actually have a very good YouTube page, and I think it's the Versa BI. Am I right, sir?
Zephyr's BI, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
please just go there. Go there, you see some nice stuff, some nice visuals. He has designed some nice explanation. Subscribe to his YouTube page, and yes, it has a lot of good resources there. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of
Thank you.
this boot camp. I want to say a big thank you to you
Thank you.
for your time. I know you are a very busy man, and I know that you have to squeeze time to just make yourself available for us, but we didn't take it lightly. We say a big thank you to you. We appreciate your effort, and
Thank
the
you
good
very
Lord
much.
will definitely reward your labor of love. That is what I can say.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much. I appreciate it.
So everyone, thank you for joining today's class. Tomorrow again, we will have Mr. Folorunsho, and I will say that tomorrow will most likely be our last class. We'll have Mr. Folorunsho on Power BI service, and the same time, 8 o'clock. Please, let's be on ground. Let's make ourselves available on time. It's always encouraging for the instructor to meet you in class, not the other way around. So let's plan our time, let's plan our schedule. Tomorrow is the last class, so let's just give it all we have. So we've come to the end of the class. Let's have a good night rest. One more thing, once the videos are uploaded, I will definitely inform you all so that you can go and review and download as usual. Thank you all and good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Take care.